What's up, hijos de la patria? Welcome to another video. I am Michael Quintoa, and today I'm accompanied by a Master in Electrical Engineering and a PhD holder, Anne-Johan. Thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting this interview.
Yeah, nice having you guys.
3, 2...
Let's see, like the introduction itself is very impressive already. A Master in Electrical Engineering, you have also a PhD. Clearly you have had a lot of experience in studies. What do you think has been the most challenging period in your study life?
Most challenging period? That's a very hard question, because I think that you should get out as much as you can from any period in your life. I started studying a long time ago, in the previous millennium. I'm that old. Yeah, then you just go for it, because you want to really get it, you want to really understand what it is all about, because you want to achieve something and you want to get a nice job. And I wanted to have a nice house, multiple cars, and all the type of stuff that you want to have if you're young and even if you're old. During my master studies I also did some internships, also at Philips Research Eindhoven, which was back then one of the biggest companies doing a lot of research. And I chose to go for a PhD after that. And after my PhD I actually started to work at Philips Research. But in every period, well, it's very interesting, you can do a lot, it's a challenging time, and it should be always like that. Coming back to your initial question, in my opinion, just do your best always, and then every period in your life is very interesting. And then you also will learn throughout your whole life, and it stays interesting, and you keep young. If you start not learning as much as you can, I think you're getting old.
Okay, that's interesting.
Never get old.
Now you're mentioning that every period is very challenging. You have to put all the effort you can in every period. What do you think is a right balance for your studies and your spare time?
Both are very important. If I just grab an example of a PhD student that I had, I guess 10 years ago. Very smart guy, but he worked, I guess, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then efficiency is down. Because he didn't have any balance between studying and leisure, so doing something else. So it is very important. And obviously, if you do a serious study, you have to put in a lot of time, and then you can make it. But you also have to put a lot of time into relaxation. Also over here, I forced myself to also do a lot of leisuring, just to back up from my work over here. And after a few breaks, then or a break of 1 hour, then I just can get back to full speed, studying, working, or whatever. But there must be a balance. Sometimes if you do a hard course or a hard module, okay, then you have to spend more time. But as soon as you made it, also back off a little bit, and also during the studying, please keep that balance between studying, which is very important, but also recreation, it's also very important. So there must be a balance.
Now let's jump to the subject. Being an electrical engineering student myself, I can tell multiple reasons why to choose this career. What about you? What can you tell me about it? Why did you choose this career in the first place?
Why I chose this career? Yes, that's a very good question. Before I started studying, I liked mathematics. It's a very nice language, because you can describe anything in that language. I liked physics, and I also liked applying physics and mathematics and all that type of stuff, and to create basically the future. So make something new that's useful for the world or for people in general. And that's why I started studying electrical engineering. I started integrated circuit design, so making the integrated circuit, and that ranges from the chips, as you know, but which are a few over here. So this is a wafer that holds a lot of integrated circuits that I designed a few years ago. But that's the type of stuff that I'm working at, and that's what I did in my master's, in my PhD, Philips Research, where I worked a number of years, and also what I'm doing over here. And it's not only integrated circuit, because that's a very, well, it's a wide area, but it's even more interesting if you also know the neighboring fields, and also like semiconductor physics, which is neighboring field, and then you can do a lot more that other people can't do. And I like to teach you guys also just to look at stuff also from another angle, because sometimes it's annoying, like, it's not an angle, but it's also a mindset, like, okay, wait a minute, if I also look at it from a different side, I can make that next step, or I can't solve it in this way, but I may solve it in that way. So it's also a type of mindset that enables you guys also to do some very cool stuff.
Yeah, an engineer has to be creative.
Must be creative, because as an engineer you're designing the future, you're enabling the future.
Actually, that's my next question. What do you think is going to be the role of the electrical engineering in the near and then in the far future?
In the near future, that's an easy question, because I only have to look back, not literally, but looking back just a few years. And if you look around in the world, just look back, all the innovations in the past 10, 20 years are enabled by electrical engineering. It's all wireless interconnect, it's computerized, all that type of stuff is enabled by electrical engineering, and that just goes on. The sad part is a little bit that we do a really cool job, and the stuff that we're building is really small. It's really small. I didn't bring a few over here, but the samples are really small, like a millimeter on each side, so that's small, and the individual parts in there, even using a microscope, you just can't see it, because the smaller stuff that we're building over here are devices of 22 nanometers length, plus or minus 1 nanometer. In the height it's also a few nanometers, and you just can't see it, because you can see using your eyes, and the shortest wavelength is blue light, what you can see. That's something like 300 nanometers. So you can observe blurrily 150 nanometers, while we make stuff which is 7-8 times as small, so you just can't see it, but that enables it. And in the future it is just going on. Everything is going to be smaller, it's going to be omnipresent. Now we are working on integrating sensors, wireless interconnect into plants. So the plants can sense their environment. You can have a fine-grained optimization of harvest, of crop, of monitoring the environment. So so that's not an Internet of Things like let's interconnect a fridge and a microwave, which is already cool, but it's also interconnecting other stuff. Living stuff, yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, so that's also what it's gonna be. And of course, maybe you're gonna have an implant in your eye, so that if you think about something fancy, that it just pops up. Just a Wikipedia page on your eye, like poof, that's your information. Maybe that's gonna be a reality in 50 years.
That makes it even more impressive, more magical, that something so small can change your life.
Yes.
In a huge scale, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's that interesting, because that scale is very important. Because if you look at scales that we can see, that we can touch, like this is a physical thing, by phone. But over here the regular laws of physics apply, Newton's laws. But if you look at very small scale, the scales that we're looking at, then you run into all type of very interesting aspects that you will never encounter if you look, if you just encounter at a regular scale. So you run into limitations of physics, and it may be just speed of light, it may be thermal noise like the vibration of an electron, uncertainty, Heisenberg. So you run into all this type of stuff, and that's what I said. If you know more stuff from neighboring fields as well, you can really do a fantastic job in really shaping the future. So that's really cool.
Amazing. You have published 2 books, one of them being your doctoral work. You've also, as you mentioned, you've worked as a researcher in Philips. You've been part of the IC design group in the Department of Electrical Engineering here at the University of Twente. You've co-founded a company.
Yep.
With all that work and experience, which one have you enjoyed the most and why?
Oh, another very difficult question. Coming back to my initial statement that you have to get out a lot from anything you do, study time is great because you learn a lot, you can do a lot. PhD is great. Working at Philips, it's a very nice environment, challenging environment, because back in the days it was either Philips Research, Bell Labs, and there were just a few other industrial labs across the planet. So it was a really cool time as well. Was the time that was the invention of the CD, of the flat panel displays, USBs, and you could just walk by those world's renowned people like, hey, this and that, could you explain this to me?
Yeah.
So you can just walk by, so that's really cool. But it's also cool, being back at university, because I also like to teach people, and I really like to educate them, and I'm really happy if I am visiting in a company and if they ask me, are there any master students graduating soon, because we like your master students. And then I'm really happy. Of course, I can earn more money working somewhere else than at the university, so it's also that I like it over here.
Yes.
So it's a mixture of the two. The company that I founded, it's on EDA software, so it's on very efficient optimization of designing integrated circuits. That originates back from when I was working in industry, that I thought like, a lot of people spend time on stuff that is a waste of time. So let's optimize it. So it's a mixture of a lot of mathematics, a lot of EE knowledge. It's writing software, but that's, in my opinion, not the hardest part. but the other stuff is so that's also really nice.
Alright, so taking the most of every experience, so you enjoyed all of your
I
experience
enjoyed
there.
it all, and if you don't enjoy it anymore, you should do something else.
That is true.
I always say over here that if I don't like it anymore, I should be that valuable to any company that I can get a new job next week.
Okay.
And if I don't like it anymore, I've got a nice job next week.
Okay.
So
well, you have to be really well prepared.
You have to be well prepared. And
to do that.
Yeah, but that's also that mindset that you have to keep valuable. So I'm not saying that you should leave, but it should be such that you're that valuable to a lot of universities, companies, whatever, that you can leave next week or next month. I usually like to do the projects that push the state of the art, so the possibilities the furthest. What an employer in total pays for you is 70,000–80,000 euros a year.
Si en este país llevar alegrías y dolor.
strong.